If you've ever held a video game controller, played Mario, caught a Pokemon, or saved a princess in The Legend of Zelda, you owe that moment to a man who died over 100 years ago. A man who never saw a screen in his life. His name was Fusajiro Yamauchi. And in 1889, in a small shop in Kyoto, Japan, he started a tiny family business making hand-painted playing cards. That business is the same company that, today, makes the Nintendo Switch. This is the story of how a playing card company quietly survived 130 years and accidentally built the modern gaming industry along the way. To understand Nintendo's origin, you have to understand what was happening in Japan in 1889. The samurai era had just ended. The country was opening up to the West for the first time in over 200 years. And there was one weird detail about Japanese law you might not know: for most of the previous 2 centuries, playing cards had been banned. The government considered Western-style cards a tool for gambling. So whenever foreign cards appeared, they got outlawed. But the Japanese, being inventive, every time one type was banned, someone designed a new type that didn't technically break the law. By the late 1800s, there was one style of card the government had finally tolerated. It was called hanafuda, flower cards. Hanafuda didn't have numbers or suits like the cards you know. Instead, the deck had 48 ornate cards, divided into 12 months of the year, each featuring beautiful symbols, flowers, birds, the moon, the rain. They were hand-painted on the bark of mulberry trees. They were small works of art. In September of 1889, a 21-year-old craftsman named Fusajiro Yamauchi opened a small shop in Kyoto and started making his own version of hanafuda cards. He named his company Nintendo Koppai. The word Nintendo is often translated as leave luck to heaven, though, honestly, even Nintendo today admits the original meaning has been lost to time. His cards were beautiful. They were also expensive, because each one was painted by hand. And they sold for a reason you might not expect. The biggest customers for high-quality hanafuda cards weren't families. They were gamblers. Specifically, professional gamblers, including members of Japan's organized crime syndicate, the Yakuza. In Yakuza gambling parlors, players would start every new game with a fresh, unused deck. To prevent cheating, they'd open a new pack of cards before each session and throw away the old one. This meant the parlors went through massive quantities of cards. And they wanted the best. Yamauchi's hand-painted hanafuda became the cards of choice for serious play. The demand grew so fast he had to hire apprentices to keep up. Within a few years, his small shop became Japan's largest hanafuda manufacturer. Nintendo's first major customer base, for its first 40 years, was organized crime. But here's what's interesting. Even as the company grew, it stayed exactly the same kind of business. Hand-painted cards. Family ownership. Quiet success. No ambition beyond making the best playing cards in Japan. For decades. Then in 1949, something happened that almost destroyed the company, and ended up saving it. Yamauchi's great-grandson, Hiroshi, was a 22-year-old law student. His grandfather had just suffered a stroke, and the family asked Hiroshi to leave his studies and take over the company. He agreed, on one condition. He demanded that every other family member who worked at the company be fired. He got his way. On his first day as president, he fired all his cousins, his uncles, his grandfather's loyal managers. He wanted absolute control of the family business. He was 22 years old. For the next 10 years, Hiroshi Yamauchi tried to grow the playing card business. He invented Japan's first plastic-coated playing cards. He opened new factories. He launched aggressive marketing campaigns. And then in 1959, he made one decision that would change everything. He flew to America and signed a licensing deal with Walt Disney. He would put Mickey Mouse and other Disney characters on Nintendo playing cards. This was a brilliant move for a specific reason. In Japan, playing cards still had the cultural shadow of gambling and organized crime. Parents wouldn't let their kids near them. But Disney? Disney was wholesome. Disney was for children. Suddenly, Nintendo wasn't selling gambling tools. It was selling family entertainment. In 1959, the year of the Disney deal, Nintendo sold around 600,000 decks of Disney-themed cards. Their profits tripled. 3 years later, they went public on the Osaka Stock Exchange. And here's the twist that made Hiroshi Yamauchi the man who would build a global empire. After all that success, he wasn't happy. He looked at the playing card business, even at its peak, and realized something. Even if Nintendo became the biggest playing card company in the world, the playing card market itself was small. It couldn't grow forever. He'd hit a ceiling. So in the 1960s, Hiroshi started experimenting. Nintendo opened a taxi company. They tried selling instant rice. They even ran a chain of so-called love hotels, where customers could rent rooms by the hour. Most of these ventures failed. But one experiment didn't fail. In 1966, Hiroshi was walking through one of his factories and noticed a young engineer playing with a homemade toy at his workstation. It was a simple, extendable mechanical arm made of wood and plastic. The engineer's name was Gunpei Yokoi. He'd built it for fun. Hiroshi told him to mass-produce it for the holiday season. The toy was called the Ultra Hand. It sold over 1 million units. And for the first time in nearly 80 years, Nintendo had a product that wasn't a playing card. From there, the company moved into toys, then electronic toys, then arcade games, then home video game consoles. In 1981, a designer named Shigeru Miyamoto created an arcade game called Donkey Kong, Nintendo's first international hit and the debut of a small Italian-looking character named Mario. From there, the Nintendo Entertainment System. The Game Boy. The Nintendo 64. The Wii. The Switch. Pokemon. Zelda. Animal Crossing. A multi-billion-dollar global entertainment empire. And here's the strange truth that ties it all together. Nintendo still makes hanafuda playing cards today. In the same city, Kyoto. The exact business Fusajiro Yamauchi started in 1889 is still operational, alongside the multi-billion-dollar gaming division. The flower cards are still there. So the next time you pick up a controller and lose an afternoon to a video game, remember this. The most innovative gaming company on Earth started as a small shop selling hand-painted cards to gamblers. It survived 2 world wars, a global pandemic, and the collapse of an empire. It survived because, one day in 1949, a 22-year-old law student decided to fire his entire family and take a risk. The story of Nintendo isn't really a story about video games. It's a story about how the most ordinary businesses, run for long enough by the right person at the right moment, can quietly build the future. If you enjoyed this hidden history of a company you thought you knew, subscribe. Next time, we'll explore the barcode. See you then.